The peace plan as a trap. The latest episode of Vladimir Solovyov's program offers lesser commentary on the current diplomatic process than a meta-interpretation of the negotiations between the US, Europe, and Ukraine themselves. The central goal of the episode is to establish a framework in advance in which any Western initiatives to resolve the conflict are either fictitious or inherently hostile, and Russia's potential rejection of them is not a sign of a reluctance to seek peace, but a rational and inevitable choice. 1. Redefining the status of the peace plan. The key conceptual construct revolves around the assertion that the US and Europe have already reached an agreement without involving Russia, yet expect its consent. Thus, the peace plan is presented not as the result of negotiations, but as a one-sided political product imposed post-factum. In this logic, Russia finds itself in a paradoxical position. It is simultaneously excluded from the process and blamed for its potential derailment. This is a pre-allocated responsibility technique. If the plan is not implemented, the blame is placed on Moscow, which is allegedly threatening peace by refusing to accept terms it had no part in drafting. To external audiences, this is presented as proof of Western bad faith, and to domestic audiences, as an explanation why any Russian refusal is justified. The main threat to the US-European peace plan is Putin. You see, the US and Europe have already agreed on something, but Putin is threatening their peace plan. You negotiate among yourselves, you sign peace agreements on anything. If you don't ask us anything, what do you want from us? It's clear that we won't go along with those adventurous scenarios that are being peddled to the United States of America to entrench the presence of some kind of NATO occupation forces in Ukraine. The New York Times published their version of these very plans: the presence of European troops in Ukraine, but not under NATO auspices, not under the NATO flag, but they will be covered by the guarantees of Article 5 of the NATO Charter. The question arises, well, what difference does it make whether they will be under the NATO flag? But it doesn't matter whether they will have NATO guarantees.